A Belfast mother of two has been granted leave for a court challenge against the housing executive's points allocation system for those on the housing waiting list. With me to discuss this are Elinor Mulligan, the mother in question, and Sean Brady from the Participation in Practice of Rights project. So first of all, thank you both very much for being with us today.
No problem.
Thank you.
Elinor, how long is it that you've been on the housing waiting list?
8.5 years. We're living on a 4th floor flat at the minute with 2 kids sharing a box room. My 2 kids are actually 11 and 13, and it's just absolutely horrendous, the state of the flat that we have to live in, with the damp conditions and just all general things that need to be fixed. But they're coming in to fix it, but it's not actually solving the problem, if you know what I mean. Coming up to the winter is absolutely freezing. They put new heaters and stuff in to try and resolve the problem, but it's still cold. So just don't know what else to do.
And being in those circumstances years on end, I mean, what has it meant for you and for your children as well?
So much stress and anxiety, and then we're constantly fighting with each other because we don't have any space. Constantly climbing up 4 flights of stairs every day, like 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's not on, like. And then we're being told by the housing executive to move our stuff from the communal areas out the front. But sure, where am I going to put them? I've no garden, I've no shed. There's nowhere to put stuff. You're constantly going through all your stuff to throw it all out to make more room for other stuff. I just don't know. The points are, I wouldn't even call them points. We were sitting on 120 points. Before I met Sean, I was with 30 points. I wasn't getting anywhere. And until I met him, he was the only one that got me points up to 120. So 120 is not enough to get a house, as everybody knows. You need up to 145 to 150 points. And with that 120 is not going to get you anywhere. And
before the accommodation you're in now, I mean, you spent years kind of in the hostels, I understand, as well. Can you tell us about some of what you had to go through in trying to build a house, a home for you and your family?
Well, from when I was 16, I've been in and out of Laburnum Hostel 4 times. Each time I've been in there 2.5 years. I actually moved out to Armagh for a year because there was no houses. Private rented as well, and then having to leave private rented because I can't afford it. Moving in with family and friends, getting in the way, so I have to move back out again. It's just horrendous. I just don't know what else to do. I mean, you're constantly asking the housing executive to help you, but we're not really getting the help that we need.
And Sean, the PPR has the Equality Can't Wait campaign. It works with many residents who are facing issues with their housing. Is Elinor's story a typical one, do you think?
Unfortunately, yeah. The families who are involved in the Equality Can't Wait campaign all come from the same place. They're all fighting the same battles. Have come through hostels, come through costly private accommodation, and poor accommodation at the minute, or lodged temporarily being like a very loose term, in accommodation that is unsuitable to their family's needs, high-rise with no play space facilities, whatever. So unfortunately, yeah, Elinor's story is typical and widespread, and the problem is that we're not building enough homes to meet the demonstrable need in areas of long-term housing need and neglect.
And Elinor mentioned that since you got in touch with PPR, Harry's helped her in terms of her own points. I mean, is that something that takes a lot of work for people to kind of be allocated the points that they're actually deserving?
Particularly in areas of need, where there are, like West Belfast, where Elinor's from, for example, there are 4,000 people on the waiting list. 3,000 of them are in housing stress. So the point system says that 3,000 of them are in housing stress, and then a whole range of them will be seen as statutorily homeless, like Elinor. So the state or the government or the housing executive recognise that their housing situation is so bad that they are deemed to be homeless. Those points are literally what people are fighting for every day. Hundreds, thousands of residents across the city are phoning the housing executive, trying to impress upon them how bad their situation is and trying to build evidence to do it. And GPs are under pressure to write letters about medical evidence and everything else. All of the social harm that's caused by being in poor or temporary living conditions. The battle is literally for those points, because the prizes that come with those points are the very few houses that become available in areas like West Belfast.
Elinor, for yourself then, what was it pushed you in the end to sort of go down the legal route to take this to the courts?
To be honest with you, I didn't even want to do this because I was fighting myself to try and get a house. I didn't realise that there were so many people in the same situation as me until we came to Sean and the Equality Can't Wait programme, and to see so many people sitting in the same situation as me made me feel very strong about it, and I wanted to make a stand and say, like we need the help, we need to move. All we want to do is be recognised as homelessness and move into the house that we need. But to be honest with you, we're not getting anywhere, so we have no other choice. I've been to see DUP, Sinn Féin, SDLP, everybody, and nobody has helped me, so they didn't give me a choice. All we want is people to come to the table, the housing executive, the housing associations, and just speak to us as residents from North, South, East and West Belfast. All we want to do is speak to you and understand why you have a point system that doesn't really work. Do you know what I mean? There's so many people on that point system. I know I'm not the only person sitting here crying for a house. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone who's sitting on the housing list who can't be heard. You know, just come speak to us and let us know what is it we have to do to resolve the situation.
And Sean, the case is due to be heard here on Friday, the 20th of April. What are you hoping for in terms of an outcome?
For Elinor, what we're hoping for is a solution. Like, her and the kids are sitting 8 years into temporary accommodation after years and years in hostel accommodation with no permanent home, no house that you can call your own. The kids are boy and girl at teenage years and sharing a room, and like, you know what I mean, they need space, and they're living in an environment that's unhealthy for them, where there's been, you know, intimidation and all the whole lot, the threats of violence and everything else, and it's just not healthy for kids and for a family. So for Elinor, primarily a solution in Elinor's case, but as we know, and as all the other families who Elinor works with in the Equality Can't Wait campaign know, Elinor's solution is someone else getting bumped out of the way. That's what it is like. More points mean Elinor pushing someone else out of the way. Some people in political circles like to use that constantly, like to say that them getting a house means you not getting a house in a load of respects, whether it's immigrants or whether it's travellers or whether it's Catholic families or whatever. We know that, and that's why the campaign's about a greater push than the individual solution. It has to be about a systemic solution. It has to be about thousands of homes, not one person, two person housed here and there. And that's why, I mean, Elinor and the kids started it actually down at the docks, taking photographs of available land. They've done that, they've mapped out the land in the city, and they're saying we need more than just these firefighting solutions to the dog that barks the loudest. You know what I mean? We need a solution for everybody. We need hundreds, thousands of homes built across the whole of Belfast and the whole of the north, or you're not going to put a dent in the housing crisis.
Elinor and Sean, thank you both very much again for being with us today for this conversation.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you.